politicians talking about trillions of dollars stolen from the Social Security Trust Fund. It's missing. It was taken by politicians, given to this country or that country, or whatever the case may be. And that's the reason Social Security is going to be cutting checks, cutting your benefits sometime in the very near future. We're talking about probably about 2033, 2034, about 21, 22% cut of your Social Security check. And some people argue what it is because the money was stolen. So we want to set that record straight today and tell you that. Not necessarily so. And it's important to know this because we need to start having serious conversations about Social Security and protecting Social Security for seniors, the disabled, surviving spouses, surviving children going in the future. Okay, this is also a live Q&A as well. So if you have any questions, it looks like I already got tons of questions. I'll get into this. And also I'm going to talk a little bit about people are asking me whether given the current state of affairs with all things Social Security, should they just go ahead and pull the trigger and start their Social Security retirement benefits now? So I want to talk about that as well. But let's go ahead and make sure you subscribe and like and share and all that kind of good stuff. If you don't have any questions today, that way you can find us in the future. Okay, so Social Security has had a trust fund when they first started out. In 1935, they had a trust fund. They started collecting money through FICA, and nobody was, part of the retirement system yet. So they built up a trust fund. So there were savings. A trust fund is basically savings. So they had some savings, and then people started to retire and pull out of that savings. And then it was kind of as a pay-as-you-go system, which basically Social Security is. People say that's a Ponzi scheme. No, it's not a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme is illegal, and you are dependent on future investors. Social Security is mandatory. So Social Security, as long as they don't privatize it, which it looks like they're trying to do right now, Social Security can be around here for another 1,000 years. The problem is Social Security. The money comes in. So that I'm going to show 2023 numbers. 2024 aren't out yet, but in 2023, $1.1 trillion came in to Social Security, and that came from FICA taxes predominantly. When you work, self-employment, whatever the case may be, you pay FICA taxes 6.2, and your employer pays 6.2. So most of that 1.1 trillion that came in through FICA taxes. Okay. And there's also about $50 billion in 2023 that came in from taxes. That is, people that pay taxes on Social Security benefits, which the current president, President Trump, is saying he wants to end that, which I agree with. They should have never taxed Social Security benefits. But the problem with that is it's also going to deplete the trust fund sooner. So that's another $50 billion that they're going to have to, find somewhere. But another 50 billion comes in from taxes, and guess what? $63 billion comes in from interests. Interest from what? Well, this is where the whole thing is. So let's finish this right here quick. But 1.1 trillion comes in 2023, so probably 2024, probably about 1.2, 1.3, or whatever the case may be. But baby boomers, 1946 to 1964, all those people retiring, and 1.2 trillion went out. So less came in than went out. What covers the difference? The trust fund. So $70 billion was taken out of the trust fund in 2023. So right now we're at about 2.6, but at the height it was about 2.8, 2.9 trillion dollars in the trust fund, but it's slowly being depleted. And what will happen over the next few years is more money will be taken out of the trust fund, out of the trust fund, out of the trust fund, and then about 2034, this much comes in, that much goes out. Well, there's nothing to cover the gap, so this much comes in, that much goes out. And so we're looking at a 21% cut. If we get rid of taxes on Social Security benefit, then the cuts are going to happen sooner and deeper. So that's why we need to have a serious conversation about all of this. But we don't seem to be, because when I do the live Q&A, people say, well, if the politicians just return the money that was stolen out of the trust fund, everything will be perfect. And so I really don't have to do anything. I don't have to contact my politician to make them, support Social Security and shore up Social Security and make sure it's here for the long term, because all they need to do is find that money is stolen. And so it's kind of a Bugs Bunny Elmer Fudd type of thing. Politicians use this to distract you. They say, "Hey, look over here. The money was stolen," and it was always by the other political party. "Hey, the Republicans stole it. Hey, the Democrats stole it. So look over there." And then the politicians run off and they don't fix it. So these are interest bearing by law. Social Security has to, they can't, put the $2.8 trillion or $2.6 trillion in an old, chock full of chock full of nuts can and out of the back of the White House and bury it in the backyard. They, by law, have to put it in special issue US Treasury securities. And these are the safest treasuries securities in the world. That's why Canada buys billions of dollars, Japan, Luxembourg, your 401k, your retirement plan, Warren Buffett, everybody buys these treasury bonds because they are the safest financial instrument in the world. And if they go south, then yeah, it's pretty much done across the world. So there's a lot of people, if the zombie apocalypse happens and there's a run on the treasury, then hopefully, politicians will say, okay, we owe, several $billion or $1 trillion, whatever, to these countries. In these countries, the 401ks, the special issue, we should be first, the retirees should be first in line to get paid. And if Canada's not paid or Luxembourg's not paid or whatever the case may be, but at least our American citizens are paid so they don't have to eat out of the garbage can like they did in the 1930s. So when these bonds are given, just like when you put money in the bank, going back to old Jimmy Stewart, It's a Wonderful Life. You put your money in the bank, and the bank just doesn't let it sit there. They, they borrow it, right? They loan it out to other people. Same thing. So is the money, that 2.6, $2.8 trillion, is Congress spending that? Yeah, it's sitting in the bank and they're using it, but they're also paying it back. That's why I put in here in the bottom the little donation thing. It's right there, the little donation thing, that people think um, that money is not real money in the account, in that trust fund. It's not real money. It's just fake money. It's IOUs. Well, yes, it is IOUs, but so is the statement you get from your bank that says you have $5,000 in your bank account. That statement that you receive is just an IOU that they say, hey, they'll give you your $5,000 when you need it. Same idea. So those people that think that it's 100% don't believe any of this and think it's all fake money, then your check, if you're receiving Social Security check right now, this month, probably, again, the final numbers aren't out yet, but probably about 6, 7, 8% of your check that you receive from Social Security this month comes from the trust fund. So if you think that's fake money, please donate that money. There's animal shelters and, the environment and homeless shelters, or, your local, place of worship. Donate that money. If you think that's fake money, please donate it. Put your money where your mouth is, I guess, and actually donate it because you think it's fake money, but it is coming out of the trust fund. You are getting the trust fund. So Congress is, yes, they are using that, but they have to pay it back. And so this is a distraction. And if people, continue this distraction by politicians and they just think, well, everything will be perfect as long as we find that $2.8 trillion, it's not lost. In my YouTube comments and in the description of my YouTube, you will find the Social Security's trustees report. And that's one thing about a Ponzi scheme, is they don't give you a trustees report like that. They don't tell you exactly where all the money is, where all the money comes from. That's part of the scheme of a Ponzi, is, there's no transparency. But Social Security trustees report does this report every year, quarterly basis actually. And it's in my description of my YouTube, and it tells you exactly how much comes in from FICA, how much comes in from taxes, how much is in the trust fund, how much went out, how much came in, all of the details right there. And as long as people are working, as long as Americans are working, and we're not completely replaced by AI, as long as we are working, people are going to pay into Social Security, pay FICA tax, as long as we don't privatize the whole thing. But as long as we're working, then Social Security will be able to sustain itself for another 1,000 years. The problem is how much those benefits will be, right? Can you take a 20% cut, a 33% cut? No, I don't think a lot of people out there, there's millions of people out there that live on Social Security checks alone, and They just can't have a cut like that. The current acting commissioner of Social Security, a Doge guy, said this week he's going to shut the whole thing down, and obviously everybody freaked out, rightly so. Um, and so we just can't have that. So we need to have a serious conversation, and distracting people, the old Bugs Bunny Elmer Fudd routine, and says, "Hey, look over here, it was stolen. Go find that money and everything will be great." That's not going to help anything. Okay. One other thing I want to talk about is I just took a poll as well, and I asked, due to recent events, the threat to shut down Social Security and all that, I'm thinking of starting my Social Security retirement sooner than planned. And about 30% of people said yes, they're talking about starting their benefits earlier, get while the getting's good, getting, before everything goes way south. Hopefully, we'll do the right thing as long as we stop the distractions and we force our politicians to do the right thing. The other 18% said no, they're not planning on doing retirement earlier. And the other 51% are already receiving Social Security benefits. So that question wasn't really relevant to them. But yeah, a lot of people I'm contacted by, a lot of people says, hey, given everything, I want to go ahead and just start my Social Security benefits early. And that is 100% your decision. But I just want to throw out some questions based on, doing this for a few 100,000 times, helping people in retirement. So should you file for retirement benefits early? And we're talking about, regular retirement benefits, spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits. If you file benefits early, that is before your full retirement age, obviously you're limited to the amount of money you can make. This year it's $23,400. Anything over that, Social Security holds back $1 for every $2 you go over. Okay. So, number one, do you need the money? If you need the money, then that's easy. But understand that if you're working and making over that limit, then they're going to hold back benefits. Okay, so those are questions. Auxiliaries. What's an auxiliary? If you start your benefits, and because you start your benefits, someone else in your family can start those benefits, like a spouse or children under the age of 18, or became disabled before the age of 22, can start benefits on your record, but you have to start those benefits. So I was just talking to someone a couple of days ago, and they said, I was going to go ahead and wait till 70, but I've got a couple of kids under, 10 years old. Like, no, don't wait till 70, because, you're going to increase your benefits by waiting a few more years, by $50, but you're going to lose 2 years of benefits for those children. And those children get 50%, up to 50% of your full benefit amount. So that person did the calculation, contacted me and says, wow, I should have started this a year ago. So auxiliaries, health. That's obviously a big one. Are you healthy? How's your genes in your family? Your kind of longevity. If you have a very, very good longevity in your family, then it might be good to wait until your full retirement age or 70 years old. Remember, when you wait past your full retirement age, 66 and 6 months or 8 months or 10 months or 67, every year you wait, you get 8% added to your benefit amount. So let's say your full benefit amount at 67 is $1,000. If you wait until 70, your benefit amount will be $1,240. So 24% increase. So, and then another thing you need to take into consideration is taxes. If you work other things, you got other income. If your Social Security check is going to put you in another tax bracket and it's going to defeat the purpose, then talk to your investment person. If you think, well, I'm a better investor than Social Security, I can get more than 5, 6, 8% than Social Security, so I'll go ahead and start my checks and put it in Bitcoin or whatever. And don't quote me on that one. But anyway, and the thing that people are talking about, those 20, 30% now, are talking about is, hey, the politics of the whole thing. Do If you would ask me last week, did I think that a commissioner of Social Security would threaten to shut down the entire agency, pull a temper tantrum? The judge said yes. This person essentially pulled a temper tantrum, and this is the individual. He is the acting commissioner of Social Security. He was a mid-level Social Security employee. He did some inappropriate things, allegedly, and he was actually looking for another job because he thought he was, on the way out because of what he did. And he was a big Doge supporter, and Doge said, "Hey, you're obviously our guy." So they elevated him to the highest position. Doesn't even have a Social Security picture up there. I guess he used to work for the GSA, but he had kind of a temper tantrum, and he said, "Well, if I can't, let Doge have access to everything, then I'm just going to shut the whole thing down." And the judge, went in there and Yeah, so if you would asked me that 2 weeks ago, something like what would happen, I would have said, "No, it would never happen in a million years," but, it did in fact happen. Do I think it's gonna happen again? I certainly hope not, but anyway. But, um, the fact still remains that unless politicians do something, and it doesn't look like they're gonna do anything other than distract us and make us attack each other. That's what politicians are really, really good at. Rather than, focusing on the issue, they just say, "Hey, go attack this person, call that person a Nazi or a libtard," or whatever the case may be, and that'll satisfy that person. And, we've been kind of trained to be attack dogs for the politicians and the mass media, and, we are fulfilling our training. Yeah, I see some remarks already that, yes, they are, yeah, they're fulfilling their training there, and, by just, attacking the other side and calling it a day and rather than solving the issue. But in this platform, we talk about Social Security and Medicare here, and if you look at any poll done by any organization, you will know that the American people, the vast majority of American people, over 80% in all, I mean, rich, poor, middle class, young, old, whatever the case may be, over 80% support Social Security, strengthening Social Security, making sure Social Security is here for the future. So we're all on the same page here, but politicians have us trained like, pit bulls to attack, the other side as soon as we see somebody on the other side, but we're all in the same boat here together in this forum. So let's not fall for the politicians' tricks by just attacking each other and just, calling it a day. Let's actually look for issues that we can help out. All right, let's see here. Get some questions. This is the Q&A is sponsored by Chapter Medicare. So if you need help with Chapter with Medicare, Medicare supplements, prescription drug plans, Medicare Advantage plans, this is the end. The few more days, the end of the open enrollment period. So if you have a Medicare Advantage plan that you didn't check, you need to check to make sure you're in the best one for the rest of the year. You have a few more days till the end of March, March 31st, and then you're pretty much probably stuck with it until next year. So here's your opportunity to reach out to Chapter, and they give you a 100% full review, and they've got a great customer service. They take care of you throughout the year. So that's why my son and I, which is a two-man operation, my son and I looked for a place that would help you all out, and they knocked it out of the park. Okay. I'm retiring in June at 62. I want to at least wait until I'm 67. Do you think I should wait? I plan on working part-time at another job in the next year. Yeah, it basically what I just went through. Remember, if it's a part-time job, if you're not going to be over the $23,400, then you're good. So you can work. Remember, 62, you're going to get the full reduction, about 30% reduction um, of benefits. But you'll get your benefits started and you'll be able to work and make 23,400. And remember, anything over that, they hold back $1 for every $2 you go over. Um, let's see. Thank you, Dr. Ed, for speaking about the divorce decree and that you can. My question is, if I file for a deceased spouse divorced benefits, do I give up my Social Security benefits I've been on for 6 years? No. If if you're entitled to a deceased, surviving divorced spouse benefits is technically what it's called, surviving divorced spouse benefits, then what happens is because you've already started your benefits, the surviving divorced spouse benefits will just be added on to you. So you're entitled to $1,500 from that person's okay, and you're receiving 1,000. You'll continue to receive your 1,000 plus an extra 500 for the 1,500. So you receive up to 100% of that person's benefit amount if you're full retirement age. If you're already past your full retirement age, then you will receive the 100%. Thank you, doctor, for all you do for us. You're welcome. Question: husband took Social Security early, then died. I took survivor benefits at 61. Now I'm afraid I'm reading that. Is there a follow-up on that one? Okay, here it is. No, that's a different person, another Joanne. Okay, but I already know what they're doing this a million times. I already know what they're asking. So you're probably talking about the rib limb, as they call it. Basically, it's a limitation because your husband took benefits early. the benefit amount is reduced. It's not the full benefit amount as if he would have waited for his full retirement age. His benefit is reduced, and on top of that, the benefit is gonna reduce as well because you are starting it early. If you waited till your full retirement age, then you would receive 100% of his benefit amount, his reduced benefit amount, but 100% of that amount. But because you're filing early, then you're receiving a reduced percentage of that benefit amount. Survivor benefits are kind of crazy in terms of calculation. Then there's the rib limb, the widow's limb, which actually is a benefit. Instead of the 71.5%, you get 82.5%. But here's the trick. Don't worry about the calculations and all the gorilla math I just did. The best way to do it is call Social Security. Yeah, good luck with that. I mean, they're, cutting back people, it's crazy. But anyway, call up Social Security and schedule an appointment. And if you haven't already started your survivor benefits, here's the trick. You call and you say you wanna go ahead and file for survivor benefits, and that way you can actually get in and talk to a Title II CS, a Title II Social Security Act claim specialist. That's what I was before I became a manager. Um, and then they run the numbers for you, and they will tell you, "Okay, if you start your surviving spouse benefits this month, here's how much you will get." And then ask them, "Okay, if I wait a year, how much will I get?" And if they said, "Well, if you wait a year, you get the same amount," that means, the you've already probably 62 and a half in the widow limb. But anyway, but you can get an idea whether your benefits are actually going to increase over a year. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't based on that widow's limb. And remember, when you go in and you run like a calculation like that, you haven't run that calculation, you're not obligated. Don't They won't pressure Social Security, they if they do, you complain, please complain. But Social Security, they're not like used car salesmen, like, where they're gonna miss the sale. No. If you say, "Oh, okay, never mind, I'll come back next year," or something, they will be very, very happy because that means they don't have to take the case back to their desk, process it, adjudicate it, and do the calculations, confirm all this kind of stuff. So if you just tell them, "Okay, no, nope," then they've got, 3 minutes of their life back, and so they can go work on their 400 other cases that they have probably waiting on their desk. Well, I guess now 800 cases, but anyway. So my 8th month is April. Would it be beginning or the okay, not sure. So that was only a part question, so can you ever work if you're receiving SSDI? Yes, absolutely. So SSDI, what's up? Is Italian Jewel. What's up, Italian Jewel? So yes, if you're receiving SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, you can 100% work. Um, there are limitations. I've done a few videos on this, and it's basically um, if the first 9 months, you have a trial work period. Social Security, everybody wants you to try to go back to work if you're able to, and that's why they give you this trial work period where you can make $1 billion a month for 9 months, no harm, no foul. After that, for 36 months, you have what's called the extended period of eligibility. So, basically, every month you make over SGA, which is substantial gainful activity, this year is what, $1,620, then Social Security holds back $1 well, they will stop that check. Any any month you go over SGA during your extended period of eligibility, they will stop that particular check. So that's why when you receive disability benefits, you always need to make sure you contact Social Security and file, work report, tell Social Security what you are doing, okay? Let's see. I think it's like you said, Dr. Ed, many boomers are retiring now. Government knows it doesn't want to pay increased money. I think they want it delayed as long as possible, so close offices at yeah, well, this has been I think it's more of they want to privatize it. They want to gut the system, just to completely destroy it. They've been, trying for decades, and they've been starving Social Security resources. That's why even before all of this nightmare, Social Security was at a 50-year low in terms of staffing. They've been begging to update the computer system. Congress refuses, refuses, refuses. So this has been a decades-long process that to get the agency to kill customer service, and that way everybody will complain and hate Social Security and blame Social Security. The money's stolen and all this other kind of BS, and that way they can come in and swoop in, and Wall Street can say, "Hey, we'll save you," but they're, probably the ones that, we're behind all of this. Anyway, like to ask when I went on SSDI in 2015 after I turned 66, did my SSDI switch to SSI? But here the problem, so many lies has been told by Musk and head of Social Security Department about check. Okay, so yes and no. When you are on SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, once you hit your full retirement age, so if you're full retirement age of 66, which sounds like, then your Social Security disability benefits are switched to regular Social Security, not SSI. SSI is the welfare-based program, supplemental security income. You mean SSA, retirement. Yes. Your disability benefits switched from disability benefits to regular old retirement benefits. Most people don't even know the switch because the check is the same, the direct deposit is the same, people don't even notice the switch. But here's the issue. A lot of people out there that were receiving disability for a while, their benefits switched to just regular retirement benefits, and now they're out there, they're 68 years old, 70, 75 years old, and they say, "Hey, my friend down the street offered me a job working, at her store and, doing stuff, and I really wanna do there, but I don't wanna, risk my disability benefits." I'm like, "You're not on disability, your disability benefits stopped 5 years ago. You're just on regular retirement, and because you're past your full retirement age, you can go down there and you can buy the store, you can make $1,000,000,000 a month, and it doesn't affect your Social Security benefits negatively at all. It increases your benefits, actually. And there's no more CDRs and continuing disability reviews and all that. So yeah, there's a lot of people out there that could, have extra money. They could, work a little jobs, odd jobs and stuff, but they're not because they're scared their disability is going to stop. So please reach out to those people. This is what this channel is all about. And I'm just the guy giving out the information. It's y'all that go out there and talk to the little old lady down the street and your neighbors and relatives and we need to come up with, you see the "Ask Me About Medicare," little buttons. We need to come up with, "Ask Me About Social Security," because the regular viewers here just got a bunch of regular viewers here that, really know Social Security now after watching, these videos all the time. So, yeah. So let me see. Thank you, Dr. Ed. Chapter was able to help me switch from a Medicare Advantage plan back to a Medicare supplement plan. Yes, they also helped in getting a prescription drug plan for me. Awesome, awesome. So you were in good health and everything. And yes, so you came in under the wire. You had until March 31st to get out of a Medicare Advantage plan, go back to original Medicare and get a supplement. And because you passed all the health questions, or you were in a particular state where you didn't have one, then you were able to get a Medicare supplement. And those are the ones I always recommend. Anytime you're new to Medicare, you're turning 65, or you're stopping work, lost your health insurance from work, then always, always, always use Chapter or whoever, it doesn't matter who you use. Always say, "Tell me about Medicare supplement plans first, Plan N and Plan G. Tell me about those differences and what they are and everything, and what the difference is between a Medicare supplement and a Medicare Advantage plan." And then if a Medicare supplement is not for you, usually it's a budget issue, then you start checking out a Medicare Advantage, but always start with Medicare supplement plans, if you can't. Sometimes, based on your, health or something like that, you just can't do it based, in your state. So, let's see here. So glad they helped you out. So, yeah, they've been doing a phenomenal job. Threatening elders who are dependent on health insurance and Social Security is elder abuse. They threaten life itself. Yeah, that freaked a lot of people out. I freaked out. I mean, I've when I ran my office, I went through several commissioners, and they all visited my office because mine's one of the busiest in the country, so they all visited mine. I've had lunch with every commissioner for the past 20 years, and yeah, none of them would have ever, ever, ever done what that guy did. The guy is way over his head. Let's see here. Dr. Ed, will my survivor benefit increase which once I reach full retirement age? If you're currently receiving that, no. Once you start your benefits, retirement benefits, spouse benefits, survivor benefits, and you continue to receive those benefits, then no, they won't increase. The only way it'll increase is based on COLA, obviously, the yearly COLA. Um, Your survivor benefits won't increase, based on work because obviously it's based on the deceased spouse. But if you're receiving early retirement and your benefits will increase based on COLA and if you continue to work, and if that work is part of your high 35 years of earnings. So, no, your benefit will not increase. How do I work and not lose my Social Security back to the government? Put it in someone else's name. Yeah, no, that sounds like fraud there. I wouldn't recommend that. There was just a guy, I talked about this a few days ago. There was a guy receiving disability, I think it was in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and he was receiving disability benefits, and he worked at a funeral home, and he made a deal with the owner of the funeral home to put all of the earnings his earnings in a relative's name and stuff like that, and that's, almost impossible to catch, but they finally caught him, and, yeah, he is, yeah, um, do not pass go, do not collect $200, go straight to jail, so let's see here. I already have my Social Security account through login gov. Am I verified? Yeah, it sounds like you're good. If as long as you get in there. So that's the new thing. So there's all right, let's talk about deadlines here. Today is what, March 23rd. If you're watching this live, March 23rd. March 31st, there's 3 deadlines. I'll make sure I get all these. So the first deadline is, um, you need to if you're about to file a new claim for retirement benefits, survivor benefits, Medicare, surviving spouse benefits, whatever the case may be, if you can't do it 100% online, then you will have to go down to a local Social Security office. And whether that office is open or closed or have anybody to actually help you there, that I guess that's a whole different separate issue that anyway. So March 31st, starting March 31st, you have to go 100% online, or you have to visit a local Social Security office to ID yourself for new claims, not for people currently receiving benefits. If you're currently receiving benefits, and then you should be good unless you want to change your direct deposit. If you want to change your direct deposit, then you have to do it online or visit an office. Okay, 2 more deadlines. March 31st, there is the general enrollment period. And what is that? That is if you didn't sign up for Medicare Part A or Part B when you were first eligible, 65 or being on disability for 2 years, then you can sign up during this general enrollment period. You do that through Social Security. You go to Social Security, do it online, go down to the office, whatever the case may be, and you sign up for Medicare Part A or Part B or whatever. And if you do it by the 31st, then it'll start, April 1st. If you didn't have health insurance from work, then you might just get a penalty, 10% for every 12 months. But if you have until March 31st to do it. So if you didn't sign up when you were supposed to and you wanna do it in April, you can't. You have to wait till next year, until next January. That's the general enrollment period, so you got a few more days. And then there's the open enrollment period, which I talked about that if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, you can switch your Medicare Advantage plan, check to see if you're in the best one to make sure your doctors are there, if you're saving as much money. And if it turns out there's something better out there, that you can switch. You can switch one time during January, February, March. And again, call Chapter and they can help you out. They're closed today on Sunday, but give them a call tomorrow. And again, as, she pointed out, you can also get out of a Medicare Advantage plan and go to Original Medicare and get a Medicare supplement. So those are the 3 things that, the deadlines here are in a few days. So Kathleen, we are on Social Security. Husband is 73, and I will be 67 next month. He's had 2 strokes, so I started Social Security 2 years ago. I was told no on spousal benefits by a rep in the Social Security office. We can get just one form of funds. Yeah, so it really depends on, the benefit amount. In order to get spouse benefits, your benefit amount, your full benefit amount has to be less than half of that person's full benefit amount. And here's what a lot of people make a mistake and lose money is they don't look at the correct numbers. They look at the MBA and not the PIA. And the MBA is your monthly benefit amount. That's how much your actual check is. It might be reduced because you filed early or you're getting taxes taken out or you're paying for Medicare, whatever the case, don't look at those numbers. That's not the number Social Security looks at. They look at the benefit amount you would have received at full retirement age, and then they look at the benefit amount your spouse would have received at full retirement age, and then if yours is less than half of that one, then you're entitled to spouse benefits. But unfortunately, it sounds like you, are not eligible for those. So, um, I am 61 and on SSDI. Should I reapply to change from SSDI to regular Social Security when I am 62? No. River Lady, AKA REN. Okay. No. And well, unless you want to get out, take a cut, a 30% cut. You want to go to regular retirement benefits because you want to, go back to work or something like that. But if that's not the case, then no, you don't do anything. But you do when you're on disability, there's a few times you need to do something. Is when you're on disability benefits and you turn 60 years old, check to see if you're entitled to any surviving spouse benefits, because surviving spouse benefits, you can start at 60, okay? At 62, check to see if you're entitled to any spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits. At 65, if alls you have available to you is a Medicare Advantage plan, because in your state, they don't make, the companies provide a Medicare supplement plan to people under 65, then at 65, you've got a free pass, you can get whatever you want. They can't deny you, they can't do health underwriting, they can't charge you extra. So at 65, check to see if Medicare supplement plan is best for you. And then once you hit your full retirement age, then you're no longer on disability, so you can do whatever you want. So, let's see, yeah, Department of Education, getting rid of people who are working and want to start Social Security. Someday you won't be able to work, and you will want your Social Security to be the most possible. Yeah, that is a good point. So some people take their early retirement benefits and they say, "Well, it'll supplement how much I receive," but yeah, one day, um, you won't. So, I love the info. I just won SSDI. Well, congratulations. When do I file for kids benefits? Now, immediately. And with Social Security processing SSI for the 5 months, will it slow me getting back pay? No letter with dollars yet. Okay. So, um, uh, SSI, or yeah, you said SSDI, so I'll answer the SSDI question. SSI is different. So if you won your disability case, then yes, there is a 5-month waiting period. Everybody waits 5 months to get those benefits, and maybe during that 5 months, they give you SSI, but in terms of, Social Security disability insurance, 5-month waiting period. So, I would reach out to Social Security now immediately. They're supposed to, when you file for your disability claim, they're supposed to ask you if you have any children under the age of 18 or became disabled before the age of 22, and that way, when you're approved later, then they go ahead and reach out to you and take those claims for your children. But probably the person that took your claim might have been fired or voluntold to leave the premises or early retired or whatever the case may be. So it's unfortunately, yeah, we have to persevere. So reach out to Social Security and set up an appointment for your children to receive benefits. So if you have 2 kids, then they'll take 2 claims, plus they will take a representative payee claim, a representative payee. So you or whoever, the other parent will be ultimately responsible to make sure those benefits go for their, their benefit. So, and they'll receive benefits up until 18 or until they graduate high school or 19. Dr. Weir, thank you for this Q&A session. You are welcome. You are welcome. Let's see here. They tell you to prove to them you can't work to get disability, and when they give it to you, they say you can work for supplement of this whole. Yeah, well, that you can work if you're filing for disability, it just has to be under substantial gainful activity. So if you're someone that's, making $80,000 a year, and then all of a sudden, based on your disability, you can't do that anymore, but, you can, greeter at Walmart or something like that for a few bucks. That's all your disability can, do. Um, then, yeah, you can file for disability and, could very well be approved. Um, Once people are on disability, sometimes they get better, medication, a surgery, whatever the case may be, uh, and people, So we as a people want people to get off disability if they're able to and go back to work. It's good for them, they make more money, they get out of the house and, be productive, they pay taxes, everybody likes when they pay taxes, they no longer have to take money out of the Social Security Trust Fund, so it's good for everybody. That's why Social Security has this whole, trial work period and everything. So, yeah. Reagan took the trust fund money and put it in the general fund. Again, it's always been treasury bonds, it's been like that, so again, we need to stop the distractions. My SSDI CDR is way past due is this comment. Yeah, for SSDI, CDR, the continuing disability reviews, when you get it, address it at that time. Don't stress yourself out about, "When will I get my CDR? When will I get my CDR?" Because it's a budget issue. It's not it is partly based on, when your cycle is up. But more importantly, when your cycle is up, if the local office has the budget and the personnel to do it, then they do it. If they don't, they don't. So that's nothing, that you can really change. So forget about it. My philosophy, forget about it, complete it when you get it, make copies, and forget about it again. Don't stress yourself. Commerce Secretary Yeah, Ludic billionaire says if government shuts down payments that gradually wouldn't care, just think it was a mistake by the fraudsters who'd only be the ones to complain. So yeah, all those people out there complaining they don't get checks, y'all are just a bunch of fraudsters, according to yeah, this guy. Wow, let them eat cake. I am turning Marie Antoinette technically never said that, but anyway, but it's yeah. It's a story we tell ourselves about ourselves. So yeah, I'm turning 66 this June. My full retirement age should be April 2026. Should I wait until April next year? Thank you so much for all you do for us. Yeah, again, it's come 100% your decision. Do you need the money? Are you working? Are you healthy? Are you, optimistic or pessimistic about what's going to happen here in the future? Yeah, nobody has a crystal ball. Again, 2 weeks ago, I would have never thought in a million years a sitting commissioner of Social Security would have a temper tantrum and say, "I'm just gonna shut the whole thing down." Sounds like a scene from Mad Max, the old the old one. The majority of social and I made a mistake yesterday. I talked about the current commissioner, the acting commissioner of Social Security being kind of a fall guy, and I said it was Burt Reynolds, and a lot of people came in and says, "No, the old fall guy from the '70s was actually Lee Majors, the $6 million man." I was thinking of, the Burt Reynolds movie Hooper, where he played a stuntman, so I got the 2 confused, so I wanna correct the record on that. I might pop so thanks for all the people that, reached out to me and said, "No, it was Lee Majors." Yeah. I actually saw him in Key West with Farrah Fawcett when they were dating. Anyway, the majority of Social Security taxes come from immigrants that work, and usually they don't collect now. A lot of getting deported, and that means the funds are not coming in. Not a majority of the Social Security taxes, but yeah, they've estimated anywhere from 20 to $30 billion every year comes in from people that are, working under fake Social Security numbers or someone else's Social Security number and paying into the system, but they will never get that out. Yeah. And yes, that is another reason, and you can go on my, description of my YouTube channel, and you can see the report that that is another reason why Social Security checks will be cut in the future if we don't do anything, and they'll be cut sooner, is because if that mass deportation happens, then that's another, 10, 20, $30 billion out of that's gonna be taken out of the Social Security Trust Fund. So, yeah, it's a free donation, I guess, from people working in the country illegally. Over the years, I've known many friends and family members that worked and contributed to Social Security for 30 years or more, but died at age 62. What happens to the money they contributed? That's where the names Social Security comes from. So people that, I've been asked this time, billions of times, well, not exaggeration, hundreds of thousands of times that question. And when I worked at Social Security, people ask me that, and I'll say, "Well, I'll tell you, 2 days ago, do you remember that terrible accident out on the highway that, young father died and he left 2 children? He was only, like, 27 years old, and now he's got 2 children. Those 2 children will receive benefits until they're 18 years old. If they're disabled, they'll receive it the rest of their life. But that person, only 27 years old, the father passed away, they only paid, maybe $5,000 total into Social Security. But those kids will receive, probably 50, 60, $70,000 over their life or more if they're disabled. That's where that money goes. That's the social part of Social Security. So these are not IRAs, individual retirement accounts. What do you mean or trust fund is missing and where it went? Would you please fill me in? The broadcast always seems to come up in the middle. Yeah, just watch, the I always put this on recording so you can watch it, come back. Um, you're a joke. It's misspelled "you're," but, are you saying I'm funny? No, what do you mean? I'm Joe Pesci here. I'll make you laugh? I'm a clown? Us that are already getting our Social Security, do we still have to go online and give them our information? No, if you're currently receiving Social Security benefits and, you're not looking to file a new claim or anything like that, no. As of right now, you're good. You don't have to do anything except for reach out to your politicians and tell them to fix Social Security so you don't get those cuts in the future. But other than that, no. You're the best, Doctor Ed. Oh, thank you. I just typed that myself in a couple of seconds ago when y'all were looking. So, a lot of us don't have a community. Well, you do now. You do now. So if you need any help navigating the system, we're here for you. Let's see. Wrong. I am retiring early now because I once again have hope in the USA. I do too. Oh, Marine Corps sergeant. I'm always, yeah, always optimistic. I think we can pull it out of the abyss and we can make this work for us. I mean, that's how Social Security started in the first place, in the depression. So even in the depression, we got something good out of it. And what did we get? We got the greatest anti-poverty program in American history out of the Great Depression. So yeah, we are pretty darn good at that. And as Winston Churchill says, so Americans always do the right thing after they've exhausted all other possibilities. So we're going through all the possibilities right now, all the wrong possibilities, but we'll eventually do the right thing. Oh, Margaret, thank you very much for the 9.99. Got my son and I got our coffee IV for the day. I appreciate it. Your effort every day, you are providing important service and greatly appreciate it. Thank you, and to your son, thank you very much, and he thanks you as well. I'm a teacher planning to retire at my full retirement age in 3 years under the Social Security Fairness Act. Will I be able to receive my late husband's Social Security and my teacher pension from CalSTRS without reduction? Yes. It's not a reduction, it just yeah, but anyway, um, anyway, I won't go there. Everybody regular viewers know my view on the Social Security Unfairness Act, but that's the law, so we have to go by it. Your benefits will be, they will not be the windfall will not be eliminated. So, yes, WEP, the windfall elimination provision, will not apply to you, nor will the GPO, the government pension offset. That will not be applied to you as well, so let me see here. Retirement is not about them, it's about our money. Just because the rich want to rule the world, there's not the only ones in this country. Yeah, that is a fact. That is a fact. But they definitely, are controlling things nowadays. Dr. Ed, do I need Medicare Plan D if I have Medicaid? Normally, yes, yes, but Medicaid usually in most states, they kind of default pick a Medicaid plan or a Part D plan for you. But if you have Medicaid and Medicare, Part A and Part B, which you can have both, Medicare Part A and Part B and or Medicare Part A and Part B and Medicaid, if you have both, you're called dual eligible. So if that's the case, then you can get one of those Medicare Advantage dual eligible plans. Chapter can see if there's one available in your area. Those are the ones with the grocery cards and, they advertise those really, really scammy, but they do exist. Um, so yeah, check one to see if one of those is right for you. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan, most of those come embedded with a Part D. So if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, then your Part D is part in there. It's already in there. Let's see. Do you know anything about probationary employees from Social Security losing their jobs? Yeah, I've been reached out to by a lot of, my old coworkers and stuff, and yeah, they're falling like flies, unfortunately. So probationary employee, but one of the things with Social Security, they've been on a hiring freeze for such a long time. They didn't have a whole bunch of probationary employees because Social Security Congress is trying to choke Social Security out, and so Social Security has already been at a 50-year low in terms of staffing. So, yeah, they've already been, you know, prior to all of this nightmare, but now they're gonna be hurt more, and this is a they're breaking the contract. Social Security, when it started in 1935, the contract, the promise was, you pay the FICA taxes, and then when, you turn your full retirement age or 62 or you become disabled or spouse or surviving spouse or whatever the case may be, that money will be there for you, okay? They fulfilled that. They haven't missed a check in 90 years, okay? The other part of that contract is when you need to access those benefits, we will have a Social Security employee there to make sure you get the right check at the right time. You're filing for the right program, you're getting everything you're entitled to, but that's part of the contract that politicians are breaking. It's not Social Security. Social Security cannot hire people unless Congress tells them. Social Security cannot fix the computer system until the Congress gives them the resources to do those things. Social Security operates Social Security Administration, all of those, what used to be 57,000 employees last week, but now probably about 50,000 or less, and all of the rent and all that stuff, Social Security operates at less than 1%, about 1% of what they pay out, that's their overhead. Check any other insurance company, Allstate, Hartford, whoever, yeah, they don't operate at 1%, probably the CEOs of the company make 1% and everybody, yeah, so, let's see. I reached my full retirement age and applied online March 2nd. I received an email saying that someone in the Denver office, I live in South Dakota, is reviewing my application. Do I dare expect to hear it soon? Yeah, so as long as, um, yeah, that person is still employed with Social Security that's looking at your case, you should be good. And what it is, you filed your case in San Diego. The Denver regional office is in charge of that area, but they've also closed down most of the regional offices, so there's no telling where your case is now. But yeah, it sounds like you know everything is going as planned. Hopefully, you went in there and you checked your earnings record because that's how they're going to determine how much benefits you're making for the rest of your life is based on how much you actually paid into Social Security. So yeah, so make sure you check your earnings record, and if that's okay, then you're good. So, why the heck would they want to get rid of Social Security, which is basically self-funded? Exactly. Social Security does not contribute one penny to the debt. It is completely self-funded. Politicians often play that. They say, "Oh, Social Security, we've got, this fraud, waste, and abuse," which Doge has not found any fraud, waste, and abuse at Social Security at all. I'm not saying there isn't. There is fraud, waste, and abuse at Social Security, but they haven't found it. And Social Security employees find it every day, but Doge is pretty much empty-handed. And then politicians say, "Oh, fraud, waste, and abuse, and stuff like that, and we can't fund this because of $37 trillion of." And it's like, okay, okay, yes, there is 36, $37 trillion of debt, but that has nothing to do with Social Security. Stop conflating the two. Stop trying to trick people and playing the old Bugs Bunny and we think we're Elmer Fudd. We need to get it beyond that. Those of you who are already getting Social Security payments do still need to get online and give them information. Nope, nope, you're good. But I would, in that way, I would go ahead and get online and make sure you're able to access your My Social Security account and stuff like that, just in preparation. Um, and that way, if anything does happen, then you're online. So, and it's good to do that anyway, because if you go online and set up your My Social Security account, it's even 100 times more difficult for someone else in the world to go in there and pretend to be you and set up a My Social Security account. So if you've already got one set up, then it's far more difficult for someone else to do it. So, and it's pretty much impossible nowadays because the new thing they just came out with the last couple of years. So, but it's also, you go in there, you can check, get a 1099, change your direct deposit, change your address, get a new Medicare card and stuff like that. So I would go in there. You don't have to, but it doesn't hurt. Okay, I already answered that one. Appointment to phone application with follow-up same week to take in original ID papers. Less than 1 month. Mine starts next month. There were only 2 people in facility midday. Okay. So, yeah, you must have been in a smaller office. But one of the things that, Doge, they're firing all these people kind of haphazardly. They don't understand how offices are run. Um Particularly the small offices. So, in an office, there's 3 different types of people. There's people that, claim specialists that help you with retirement, survivor benefits, Social Security disability insurance, Medicare. Those are called Title II of the Social Security Act. That's what I was before I became a manager. And then there's SSI, Title 16 of the Social Security Act. That's that welfare-based program. And then there's just regular generalists. But if you think your office is open, it might be open, but it might not have the type of people that need to help you that you need help from. So, particularly in the smaller offices. So, Social Security should not run out. We paid for it and earned it. Yeah, it's not gonna run out. It's not gonna be bankrupt. The trust fund is gonna be depleted, and then they can only pay out how much they give in. So, yes. Let's see here. There's plenty of money in the Social Security fund. All he wants to do is lay off people, but that makes things worse for us because less employees, harder to get help from Social Security. Exactly, exactly. And the whole idea about the Social Security trust fund is not there. It's all empty. It's all IOUs, fake money, monopoly money. But then, yeah, all of these, bigwigs, billionaires and Wall Street guys, they want that money. So why would they want fake money? If that's not that money, the trust fund, that 2 point, you know, 8 trillion, 2.6 trillion dollars is actually all fake money. Why do they want it so bad? You know? Yeah, because it's not fake money. Let's see. Elon can be helpful by changing the disability laws to allow us to own more. Also, maybe Elon should live on SSI for a year and see if he would have a change of mind. Yeah, yeah. I, trying to be optimistic here. If Elon can do good if he wants to, you know, pulling out the old, BS about, people at 150 years old receiving Social Security benefits, you know, that's not on the Doge website because he didn't find anything because it's not there. So, but if he really wants to fix stuff, then yeah, update the computer system. For people on disability, yes, make an app or something like that so they can, make sure they're, don't go over the extended period of eligibility, trial work period, something like that. Absolutely. There are, things that Social Security needs help with that they've been begging Congress for help for decades, and so, yeah, if he wants to help, actually help, um, then he can, but unfortunately, he keeps going on these wild goose chases that don't produce anything, bunch of allegations, but yeah. And there's a story going around there. I watched, I guess they were in Capitol Hill, and this one guy gets up there and says, "Elon Musk says that Social Security is giving," or the SBA, he conflates the 2. He says Social Security is giving out, money to 11 years old, people that are 11 years old and younger. But what Elon Musk said, always try to be fair, what Elon Musk said is, SBA, the Small Business Administration, is giving, business loans to companies where the Social Security number is of a child 11 years or younger. Okay? Okay. So, sometimes unfortunately, parents use their kid's Social Security number for credit and yeah, so yeah, I'm sure that does happen, unfortunately. It actually, also to be fair, those loans were instituted during the last Trump administration, so there's that. But the person that the viral video is actually talking about, the person says, "Hey, these are just surviving child benefits." He doesn't know that no, that's not what he said. He didn't say Social Security is giving out money to 11 years old because they are obviously surviving child benefits. So, yeah, he kind of mixes up the 2. So, we always wanna be fair. So, alright, we are getting close to the end here. Turning 65 at the end of May and will file for Medicare. Still work full-time and pay for health and dental through work. Should I continue to carry insurance coverage through my employer? That is 100% your decision. Check your plan, see if it's, good or is better than Medicare Part A and Part B and a Medicare Advantage, a supplement or what, compare the apples and oranges. If you have health insurance from work, current work, yours or your spouse's, and your employer has 20 or more employees, then you do not have to sign up for Medicare Part A, Part B, or any of it. So, if you're happy with your health insurance from work, and they're not making you, sign up for Part B, sometimes companies do that, and you like it, and it's, better and cheaper than Medicare would be, then you don't have to do anything. Um, the mic is a mic issue? Hello? Yeah, seems to be okay. Maybe I just speak up a little bit. My wife was eligible for the adjustment due to the offset. She got that already, but to our surprise, the small amount she was getting was on my account. Now she will be on her account, and I will get a refund. Okay. So, yeah, it sounds like you were part of the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. So, sounded Oh, okay, thanks for letting me know. Alright, we're at an hour anyway, so, we'll call it a day, and I'll check with the company and see what's going on with the audio here, and hopefully we'll get it fixed tomorrow. Alright, y'all take care, have a beautiful day. Remember to help each other out there. A lot of people out there are struggling, and they need your help navigating the bureaucracy, so let's, let's step up and do our thing. Alright, y'all take care, have a beautiful day.